Over the weekend, CBS Evening News anchor and managing editor Norah O'Donnell traveled with Vice President Kamala Harris as she made stops in Houston and Kalamazoo, Michigan. And in a race where every vote is going to count, Harris talked about what her top priorities would be if she were elected president.
What would your first 100 days look like? What would be your top legislative priority?
Well, it's going to be lowering costs and a package of legislation that is about lowering cost, again, on the issue of housing, small businesses, child tax credit, basically putting more money in the hands of American working people, but also cutting middle-class taxes. A priority in equal form is going to be what we need to do to deal with reproductive health care and reinstate the freedoms and the rights that all people should have and women should have over their own body. And then dealing with immigration, and in particular border security, and bringing back up that bipartisan bill that Donald Trump killed so we can get more resources down to the border.
What do you think you'll be able to do if you have a divided Congress?
So I will tell you, Nora, for most of the issues that I think concern the vast majority of Americans, they're not partisan issues. Bringing down the cost of groceries, bringing down the cost of housing, getting more support to families with children. These are not partisan issues. Democrats, Republicans, Independents deal with these issues equally and actually don't think of them through the lens of the party with which they're registered to vote. So that means working across the aisle.
We are entering the final week. The polling has you and Donald Trump essentially tied. Do you believe those numbers?
You know, listen, it's a presidential race, and it should be close. Big issues, and I am traveling the country, talking with voters, listening to voters, and I intend to earn every vote we receive. But I will tell you in all honesty, I'm seeing a lot of enthusiasm around our campaign.
That enthusiasm she needs from young voters like we found at a rally in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
It's our first election. Yeah, we're so excited.
We were given rare behind-the-scenes access as Michelle Obama embraced the campaign trail for Kamala Harris.
I hope you'll forgive me if I'm a little frustrated that some of us are choosing to ignore Donald Trump's gross incompetence while asking Kamala to dazzle us at every turn.
And that's one reason the vice president is now challenging Donald Trump in a new way. Donald Trump was on Joe Rogan, and he called you, Madam Vice President, a very low IQ person and said, I think she needs to take a cognitive test. I think Kamala should have a test because there's something missing, there's something wrong with her. Would you take a cognitive test?
Sure. I would challenge him to take the same one. But here's the thing. This is what he has resorted to, and I think he actually is increasingly unstable and unhinged, and has resorted to name-calling because he actually has no plan for the American people. But on the point of why Donald Trump is unfit to be president of the United States, don't take it from me. Listen to the people who know him best. His former chiefs of staff, most recently, 4-star Marine General John Kelly. Listen to 2 former secretaries of defense who worked for him. Listen to his national security advisor. Listen to his vice president, who have all, in one way or another, said he is unfit to be president again, should never be president again, and is dangerous. It has become clear from the people who know him best, all Republicans, by the way, who served with him in the Oval Office and the Situation Room, not to mention Donald Trump's own words, saying that he would terminate, and I'm quoting, terminate the Constitution of the United States of America.
Well, I want to ask you about that because after you called Donald Trump a fascist, the top Republicans in Congress have called on you to tone down your rhetoric. They say it's, quote, irresponsible anti-Trump rhetoric, and they're saying what you're doing could invite another assassination attempt against Donald Trump. How would you respond to that?
Well, first of all, I condemn any political violence of any sort against anyone. But again, don't take it from me. Take it from the people who know him best. John Kelly, I again urge anyone watching this, go online and hear John Kelly in his own words.
You can see more of Norah's interview and more behind-the-scenes campaign access tonight on the CBS Evening News. And you can watch CBS News election night coverage from our headquarters right here in New York, and with our teams all across the country. You're going to join us for real-time results, analysis, and exclusive polling. Coverage begins at 4 p.m. Eastern on our CBS News 24/7 streaming channel and at 7 p.m. Eastern on the CBS television network.